The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosinzia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosinzia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Mosinzia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas 24/7 for your family, friends, and loved ones, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, makes great gifts year round. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, as well as some phone cases and more. Amazon.com/Mia Mosinzia. Check it out today. And support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. He's backed by popular demand. He is the founder of Bedrock Builders. He was great to talk about his business, how you can get started and everything, help small business owners build their business and reconcile the accounts and also file taxes, corporate structures, teach clients about grants, cash flow management, entrepreneur with a CPA license, worked with over 11,000 businesses, owners with 35-year career and stealth track strategies for all the solopreneurs as well too. And this time we're going to be talking about the upcoming tax season, what you need to know, why it's important to have a small business and why it's more important than ever. And of course, brand new strategies to get ready for 2022. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown New York City. He's backed by popular demand, the founder of Bedrock Builders. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe DiChiara. Joe, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mike. Like the last time, I'm so impressed with how you intro. I want to listen to that Missing book. Is that available on Audible?
You know something? That's a very good question. I'll check into it and we'll let you know. In the meantime, you can check it out on Amazon. And if you go to audible.com, I think there might be a book as well too. Or you know what? Or maybe you can have someone read it to you, or I can come over and read it to you. How's that?
Yeah,
that's a good test, right?
Like a lot of other people, I've been stacking my good habits. That's what my coach calls it. So I work out and I started listening to a lot of Audible books. I love actually reading a book. So I think I'm going to just order it because there is something to be said to the traditional reading a book. There's something I consider it almost spiritual, having that book in your hand and absorbing it. So I think I'll just order it and I'll read it and I'll give you a review on it because the way you introduced it is intriguing.
Yes, and it's fast paced with an unforgettable twist. And I'll tell you one thing, speaking of twists, turns, and everything else, we had you on the show last time talking about your business and talking about tax strategies and more as well too. But before getting into all that, talking about the upcoming tax season, once again, a very quick review about your Bedrock Business Builders and very quickly how you got started.
Yes. So if you want the quick synopsis, when I was 10 years old, I ran a casino in my driveway, and I decided that I was never going to work for somebody. I didn't understand why people worked for a living when they can do what they loved and make money at it. It wasn't as easy as that, unfortunately. I found out the hard way. And yeah, I like to be introduced as an entrepreneur that happens to have a CPA license, because at the heart of it, I am an entrepreneur like you and millions of other people. And I've spent my career trying to help and educate entrepreneurs on, what it is really about business and how to, navigate the twists and turns, not only that the government puts out there for us, but the other roadblocks that we encounter. But I have to be honest with you, the last 3 years, which is really when I started Bedrock, I changed the whole focus of my business to serve the solopreneurs, specifically brand new entrepreneurs that really have no idea. They're delusional, like I was when I was 10 years old, thinking, oh, this will be easy. And really put together a team and a system where we can easily, open their eyes to what's in store.
Mm-hmm.
And last year actually opened my eyes to, a new, let's say, purpose. My new purpose is to really help these entrepreneurs navigate the new system of twists and turns. I call it the machine. The machine has always been out there, and it's not just the government, the IRS, it's big business, it's insurance companies, it's banks that have really, made it harder and harder for small businesses to just make a living. It's not even about becoming a millionaire anymore. It's about lifestyle. It's about people that want to work from home and make enough money to be with their family and travel and do what they want to do, not have the ball and chain of a boss. And what's interesting, a lot of good things came out of COVID, the pandemic. First, what I'd like to say, it's not the first time in history that people have faced these kinds of obstacles. So if you're feeling sorry for yourself and you're thinking, oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened, look back to history, because it's happened over and over again, and it'll happen again. Happen again. So what's interesting is, and we were chatting a little bit about some of the other issues that are interesting that's happening. I can't wait to interview you on my podcast, because I'm going to be, picking your brain. I know that you have a lot to offer. But
I assume many people pick brains as well too, and you can still have the prime ones.
I could identify with that.
I saved a few for you, by the way, and they're the prime ones.
Awesome. Thank you for that. But what's really interesting is they're calling it the Great Resignation. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but it seems like 4 million people decided not to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And, people are asking me, like, why is that? And I think a lot of people learned how to get by without having that 9 to 5. I think a lot of people got tired of the trudge, the commute. And people got used to, having their freedom. And a lot of people that got laid off and actually lost their jobs became business owners, by default. And I could tell you, thank God I didn't have to go through the Depression. I'm a historian, and I've, they didn't have the safety nets and things that we have in place now. We're pretty blessed that we do have the government that we have, and we have the programs that, like the payroll protection program. They didn't have that back then.
Mm-hmm.
But what was interesting about the Depression is I think more millionaires were born from the Depression than ever before.
I did read about that, where it's like they actually had to like save pennies, save paper, save like soup, save the stocks, save like save clothes, or even save string, or save like say with paper clips, cookie crumbs, eggshells, or pets, anything like that. Save.
Oh, my grandparents, I'll never forget, my grandparents were, Depression survivors. And if you, it was like, close the refrigerator, turn off the light.
Save the wrapping paper for next year.
My grandmother had 3,000 recipes for how to cook pasta, and they were all delicious.
Wow.
And, I value that experience, because a lot of people today just, and myself included, we waste. We're a nation of wasters, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to they used to make soap from fat. I mean, think about that.
I remember that. Yes. Soap from fat, lard. And I think there was even lye too. It's like they had more than several ways in create soap, or even shampoo, deodorants, or anything like that.
So, people had to become creative. They had to learn how to survive. And I think, Americans are resilient. Not only Americans, people all over the world now. I think the United States, with capitalism and, the idea that anyone can become rich. It's not really true, but the mindset of, if you have the tenacity to go through it, I believe that anybody can still become rich.
Mm-hmm.
And that idea has reached a lot of the world, not all of the world, but a lot of it. And we need people like that. We need people that'll go out on a limb and be the entrepreneurs, to be the crazy ones that'll risk everything. And that's how we grow, and things are invented. People like Elon Musk that do stuff that, get a lot of people mad, but at the end, like, oh my God, look at what he created.
Mm-hmm.
And I can talk forever about that, but what I really want to talk about is the current state of affairs when it comes to getting your simple tax return prepared, because it's become a real minefield for regular everyday people.
It has. Yes, that's right. And of course, it's not just the online, your H&R Blocks, your big chains, or anything like that. Jackson Hewitt. I mean, lots of tax changes coming up. And of course, your W-2s and W-4s have been dramatically changed. You could just write low this, low that. Now it's just like, it's a monster number that's really confusing as well too, and we'll talk about that in just 1 minute. But first, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Me and Molson Z has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Me and Molson Z, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Me and Molson Z for great books, all kinds of goodies and more. Amazon.com/Me and Molson Z. Also support The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and themikewagnershow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with the founder of Bedrock Business Builders, Joe DiChiara, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, we went through some really interesting times in 2021. Now it gets more taxing in 2022. And of course, you have the W-2s and the W-4s when you first signed up to be a solopreneur, entrepreneur, or even like work for a company. You have to fill out these forms where it's like you take one for deduction this, one deduction for that. You can like check it off. But now you've got a big form which puts people in a frenzy. And maybe you can just tell us about the new form and how can they navigate it?
Well, to be honest with you, I have a client, and her husband, she's a business owner. Her husband's works. He's applying for a job, and he's like, I need help filling out this W-4 form. And you look at it, it's complicated. I'm like, they got questions on there that don't apply to 98% of the people, which makes it, very, very confusing, because regular people don't know what applies to them, what doesn't apply to them. So what I told him is the truth. They said, just fill out your name, address, social security number. If you're married, say you're married filing jointly with zero dependents, and sign it, and that don't even pay attention to the rest of the form, because in reality, even if you fill it out correctly, if you know what everything means, it's not going to be correct at the end of the year, because it's all based on an estimate. So you throw some monkey wrench in there, like your wife has a business or your spouse has a business. You don't know if they're going to make a lot of money or not. I mean, so this is what I suggest to people. And it's not just a W-4 form. And a W-4, if you don't know what it is, it's when you have a job and they have to have you fill out a W-4 form, among other things. And the W-4 is the information that they're going to use to give you your W-2 at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There's another form if you're an independent contractor, and we should spend a little bit of time on this because they changed the rules. Okay. They changed the rules for people that actually have hobbies online that like my mother has an Etsy shop, right? The rule used to be that if you did over 20,000 in sales and had over 250 transactions, they would send you a 1099.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They changed it to $600.
Wow. So they dropped it.
Which actually, they have this rule called the hobby loss rule. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but basically they don't like people to run a hobby and take it off as a business loss. So if you lose money for 3 out of 5 years, the IRS can, they don't always, they can go in there and say, oh, this is a hobby, you're not in it for profit, so you can't take these deductions. What they've done is the reverse. They've taken millions of people that are running hobbies and said, oh no, you're a business owner now. So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So
even if you collect, like, say, comic books, stamps, coins, they consider you a business owner?
Well, there's a lot of people that are in business with those things, but there are a lot of collectors. So for instance, my son-in-law buys and sells posters, movie posters. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make money. It's a hobby. Well, he does more than $600 in sales. So I made him an S Corp. That's what I do with entrepreneurs, because you don't want to be a sole proprietor. And that's a whole nother issue. But, so people have to be careful. And the IRS is cracking down, and they should, on the underground economy. There's millions of people that start businesses. They actually open up bank accounts, they incorporate, and they never file taxes. This has always been an issue. I'm in the accounting business for going on 40 years, and it was an issue before I started. It's the independent contractor versus employee issue. Now, the government never really had the resources to police this until now. What they've done is that it's actually a form of socialism. They've put the onus on business owners, on tax preparers, saying now that you must file a 1099. Now it's a 1099 NEC, non-employee comp, for independent contractors. So those are people that aren't incorporated, that you pay, from your business. And so that's fine. We should comply with that. But the IRS has taken it a step further. They wanted the banks to actually tell them any transactions that were over $600. Every bank, every transaction. And the banks, had a fit. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of expense. But what the banks agreed to was to give the IRS information on anyone that has a business bank account. So why does that matter? Well, a lot of people that were flying under the radar that had these bank accounts and weren't filing tax returns, now they're going to be subject to audit. So if you have a business bank account, even if you're not doing business, even if it's a loss, the IRS is going to say, well, you have a business that's registered and you're not filing a business tax return. Those people are going to be subject to audit. That's why the IRS is hiring over 80,000 new employees. They're not employees to help improve the system. They're auditors and collection agents. So they're going to more than double. So that's one thing that I'm explaining to people. Listen, you can't not pay attention to these rules anymore. You can't fly under the radar. It's not if they know what you're doing. It's they know what you're doing. It's just a matter of if they're going to, audit you or not. Audits are going to become a lot more prevalent. So this is what I'm telling people, Mike. You gotta educate yourself. And this goes for people that have a job too, not just business owners. This goes for regular people that have a job. You need to start educating yourself. You got to know what's on your pay stub. Okay. You got to know how to read your W-2 at the end of the year. And most important, you got to understand what goes on your tax return. You don't have to be a CPA. You don't have to be an expert, but at least know enough so that and hopefully people are going to a professional, that you know what questions to ask. Too many times I get people that I'm like, you don't even know what questions to ask me. And that's a problem. Educated people, they just sign their return. I'm like, that's a problem, because there's a lot of bad tax preparers out there. Number one, we have a shortage of accountants and tax preparers, which is frightening. But we make mistakes too. I make mistakes. I made a mistake on my aunt's return last year. Actually, she made the mistake. She didn't give me a retirement form. I should have known, but I left it off. Okay, we discovered it right away, right? So this is one of the things that people have to be aware of now. We filed an amended return to fix it. She was getting a nice big refund over $7,000.
Nice.
She just got it 3 weeks ago. Cause anybody that had a correction, well, they went on the back of the line because of COVID. I understand they had their issues. She went on the back of the line and they never got to it. Until, she actually had to call her congressman. Now, the thing is, she used to work for the IRS, so she knows how the system works. And
Interesting.
So what I'm telling people now, if you can go to my YouTube channel, I've been saying this for the last month, be prepared. Okay. Don't stick your head in the sand. Look at your last 2 years worth of tax returns. Look at what went on them. Make sure if you go to somebody that you have those documents. See, when the documents came in, she just gave them to me. I rushed to do it because I know she always gets a refund. I didn't double check it we put new procedures in my business so that this doesn't happen again or happens less. And that's the only one that happened to us last year. But make sure you have all your documents before you go to your tax preparer, because the worst thing that could happen is you file your return and then you say, oh, I got this document.
I've seen that happen too, where it's like they forget to bring in a document, and next thing you know, it could give them more of a refund. It could be less of a refund, or they end up like owing money, either little or a lot. So yes, it is important to have a document. And getting back to the whole thing on the W-4 as well, that the old way where you control the deductions and everything, and the brand new way is pretty much have gotten so combobulated. Now, will more taxes be taken out with a new W-4, or is it going to be the same or less than that? What can we tell our listeners about the new W-4? Is it going to be like more taxes taken out, the same or less?
So, if all things remain equal, it's probably they're going to take out a little bit more. Okay. But again, this is why, I'm telling my clients, educate yourself, look at your pay stub. So it's really not, that complicated. Let's say you make $100,000 a year. They took out $20,000 last year. You got a $5,000 refund, right? It's simple math. Well, June 30th, you can look at your pay stub and say, oh, I made $50,000 and they only took out $5,000 compared to, half of last year should have been $10,000. Okay. Not that many things have changed in the tax law that's going to make a big difference like that. So in that case, I would say, well, they're not having enough taken out. And at the end of the year, that they're not going to be even. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'm sure that makes sense to listeners as well too. So you'll get a lot of questions about the brand new W-4 and everything else. And when it comes to small business deductions back in the day, like say if you bought like a t-shirt for your business, you bought like a new desk for your business, like say, or a coffee maker, or you got yourself maybe like a couple hundred square feet of office space, you could write that off. But now it's just like they're saying that you can't do that, and all that's changed as well too. So it's just like, what's the way to write off on the deductions nowadays when it comes to a small business?
That's a great question, because this started with Trump. What Donald Trump did was they raised the standard deduction. So on your personal return, there's two ways to reduce your taxable income. One is what they call a standard deduction, which everybody gets, and it depends on your filing status. And the other one is to itemize. So what they did was they reduced a lot of things that you used to be able to deduct. What hit people the most was the state and the tax deduction. They limited how much somebody can deduct in their taxes. That includes real estate and state income taxes. So if you're in a state like New York or California or Chicago, where there's high real estate taxes and high income taxes, well, those people that were seeing a $40,000 deduction now can only take 10. So now, very few of my clients can itemize. They have to have a big mortgage. So for instance, if you're a married couple this year, I think the standard deduction is 27,000. I think it's 27,400.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you need 27,000 in itemized deductions. Now, what can you do? You could still deduct charitable donations, non-cash donate. That's a big one. So if you're going to If you're going to itemize, you want to do non-cash, which is huge. When, you know, people are moving now, right? A lot of people are moving from states like California, New York. They're going to lower taxed states. Well, when you move, instead of throwing all your stuff out, donate it, get a receipt, because that might be a valuable deduction. Okay.
Mhm.
So, you know, so if you can't item, and that's why the W-4 becomes even less important, because if you have a job, you make 80,000, you know, 50,000, just fill out, don't go through all of those crazy, you know, adjustments. Just fill it out normally, and if everything is correct with those tables, if you get your W-2 and a standard deduction, you should come out even at the end of the year. You shouldn't have to pay a lot, or you shouldn't get a lot back.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And also another thing too is the child tax credit. That's another hot button topic as well too, that, you know, they think it's free money, but then also there's a thing where you have to pay it back in the end, or some states will let you, some don't. And the child tax credit, maybe just something that some important news about that.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, because there, you know, again, it's the IRS system has broken down. You can't rely on the letters that they're saying that you're supposed to get a letter that says how much you got in advanced child credit. So let me clarify something here. There's two credits. There's the child and dependent care credit, which is the if you bring your child to a daycare center and somebody takes care of your child, you can get a credit for having somebody, you know, watch your child. Okay. And it's not that it's up to $600. It's based on how much you've paid. So if you paid $3,000 or more, you can get up to $600 in credits. And then the state might also throw in some money, and it depends on what state you're in. But then there's the child credit. Okay. It's not a child care credit. It's the child credit, where you get a credit up to $3,000 per child as a credit. Now, what the government did was they said, hey, let's give those people an advance credit. Okay, so people like my son got $250 a month for 6 months. Okay, so he got $1,500 against the $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you follow me? Now
Yes.
they get, oh no, it was 1,800. I'm sorry. They got he got a letter saying he got 900, and his wife got a letter saying she got 900. Pretty simple. So on the tax return, we're going to say, because the IRS knows what they think they sent, and I'll say why I say what they think they sent, that they got 1,800. We get the $3,000 credit minus the 18. So now they're only going to get a $1,200 net credit.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty simple, right? If all of that works. Well, what if the people got divorced during the year or separated? I mean, there are horror stories I'm hearing about, and not just my clients. I'm in groups with other CPAs, and there's anything that can go wrong is going wrong. Divorced couple, the husband got all the money. She's, you know, taking care of the kids. She's entitled to the credit, but he got the advance.
Mm-hmm.
The IRS isn't going to get into that. That's like, they got to figure it out. It doesn't matter. So this is what I'm telling people that want to file their returns, and they got the letter is incorrect for a lot of different reasons. It could be incorrect because you didn't get what they said that you got. Maybe you got more than what they said that you got. If you don't put down what they say you got, your return is going to be delayed. So some people are depending on that refund. So what I'm telling my clients is, listen, we got to file with whatever the IRS says that you got. You got two choices: either file it or fix it before we file. Okay.
Good point.
And the IRS has, and I'm doing something now that I never did before. I'm actually referring people to go to the IRS site because they actually have some tools and resources that are good. They have you can go on the site and see what they are saying that you got. If there's a problem, there's a number that you can call. And I'll tell you, if you want to call Wednesday or Thursday morning, 15 to 30 minutes before they open, if you want a chance at getting through them. And if you don't, plan on being on hold for a couple of hours if it's that important to you. I mean, I got to wait on hold too. I call through my computer, I work, and when they pick up, you know, I thank God. But you got to be tenacious. You can't give up. So the two choices are: you get it fixed before you file, or you file with what they say, you get and then you file an amended return, you get it fixed afterwards. That's for people that are relying on that refund. You know, my aunt wasn't happy waiting for the $7,000 refund, and it could have been avoided. You know, going back, if it was this year, I would have said, let's wait until like February 15th, because some people, they send their stuff out late. You know, if you're in business, I would wait till the end of February, because you might get 1099s that you forgot about. Okay. Now, going back to, you know, what do people do to get deductions? One thing I could tell you that they did this year is, even if you don't itemize, you can deduct up to $600 in charitable donations. Okay, which helps. You know, every little bit helps. So if you don't itemize, you can still get a charitable deduction up to $600. The only real write-offs now are business expenses. You can't even write off business expenses related to your job anymore. They eliminated that. So if you have a lot of job related, or you have to have a lot, okay? You got to have a lot of itemized deductions just to itemize now, but most people can't itemize. So what I'm telling people is, start a business. You don't have to make money. As long as you have the intention of making money, you have a business. Which means once you have a business, you could start writing off, you know, percentage of your car, your cell phone, your computer. And that's how you get tax write-offs now. I'm not telling people to go and start a business. You can't start a business just to write stuff off. That's, you know, you have to have a profit motive. So like my son-in-law, I said, you're not in a hobby anymore. You got to start making money. You got to take care of my daughter and my grandchild. So hopefully you make money. But in the meantime, he's got a room filled with posters. He's got a computer that he uses just for the business. And I'm like, hey, now we can write off a portion of your house as a legitimate business deduction. We can write off that computer that you use, and it's going to help them on their taxes.
And that's very important as well, too. And some of the more creative ways you could start a business, and what else to expect in 2022. Joe, we'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international Wolverine author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with the founder of Bedrock Business, Builders Joe DiChiara, after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to the Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with the founder of Bedrock Business, Builders Joe DiChiara, here on the Mike Wagner Show. A lot of great tax ideas, and thanks for keeping us up to date and everything. And of course, some very creative ways to start a business. I mean, what's hot, what's not, and what can we expect in 2022 and beyond, Joe?
So, another thing is free resources. So I mentioned the IRS site. What I'm advising people is go on the site and write on irs.gov, and you should register for an account. Okay. Now, when you have an account, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, you can get all your tax records. There's people that owe the IRS money and they're not aware of it. They become aware of it when they file their return. They're waiting for a refund, and they're like, oh, the IRS took my refund. Well, that's what they do if you owe money. So, and a lot of times you owe money, they say you owe money, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get that again, and it's more about educating yourself now and being on top of your taxes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They also have the stimulus checks.
Yes, the stimulus. I forgot to mention about that. That's another hot topic.
It's the same story as it's even worse than the child advent, because you have to have a child to worry about the child tax credit. So the stimulus payments, there were 3 payments you were supposed to get. The IRS is supposed to send you a letter saying how much they think you got. And when I say supposed to, a lot of things can go wrong with the mail. The post office is affected by COVID as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I don't rely that much on the post office. So when I say you're supposed to get the letter, you are guaranteed to know what the IRS is saying that you got by going on their site. Because right on the site, there's a button that says, find out what your stimulus payment was. Now, whatever they say it was, you have a chance to fix it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, whatever they say, so I have a client last night, she said she only got 600 and the letter said 1,400. Well, there's nothing I can do about that right now. When I file her return, I got to put down that she got 1,400. Otherwise, her return is going to get bounced. You don't want your tax return to get bounced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anytime it gets bounced out of the system, somebody's going to look at it and, it'll be delayed. And anytime there's a delay, even if you owe money or they owe you money, it's not good.
Right.
You want it to go through the system, over and done with. I don't want to lose any sleep over it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have that. Also, the IRS, so this is for people if you make $73,000 or less and you don't use a tax preparer. I say everybody should use a tax preparer. Some people just can't afford it. I understand that. The IRS will help you file your return. Okay.
Oh, really?
They have free file. They've made deals with a bunch of software companies that will, and I think H&R Block is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with H&R Block is that they don't do the state for free. H&R Block always did the federal for free, but then they hit you for the state.
Right.
So,
and they charge a fee depending on what state you live in as well. So even if you get money back from the state, you owe money to the state, you still have to pay a fee. It depends on the state.
You still got to file the state unless you're in like Florida or Texas, where they don't have a state income tax.
Mm-hmm.
But that was H&R Block before. This is a new program, and it's not just H&R Block. So I said, well, what about the state return? Because Well, in New York State, I found out that because I get emails from New York State as well as the IRS, and they piggyback back on the IRS's free file. So they have the same. So you got to see in your state, I would go to your state tax department. Don't just go to the IRS. Go to your state tax department and see if they have the same thing as New York State does, which is great because you could just go through New York State, file your federal and state return for free, as long as your income is less than $73,000.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep that in mind for our listeners as well, too. And where can we get all your information, and how can they reach you for advice and everything else, Joe?
So you can always go to my website, bedrockbusinessbuilders.com. If that's too long for you, and I love to invite people to our mastermind group. It's mastermindwithjoe.com. And what that is we have entrepreneurs and regular people that join us. It's free. We play a really cool game. We call it Your Party, and we share our knowledge and experience with each other. It's an hour and a half every Friday, and that's Mastermind with Joe. Or just go to bedrockbusinessbuilders.com. You have my media stuff up there. You have a bunch of tools and resources, and we're all about serving people that normally don't use accountants, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's our market.
That's rather interesting, and we're certainly looking forward to that. Tax season coming up. If you got any questions, how can people reach you? How can people reach you?
Oh, if somebody wants to just email me, it's joe@bedrockbusinessbuilders.com. I'm also all over social media. We have our YouTube channel. Just do a search, Joe DiChiara, and I will come up. I'm all over the place. That makes sense.
And you certainly do a great service, Joe. Once again, Joe DiChiara here on the Mike Wagner Show from Bedrock Business Builders. Joe, always a pleasure to have you on, and looking forward to have you on soon, and love to be on your podcast, coming up as well too. And like to have you on for more tax strategies, business tips, and everything else. And looking forward to having you on again. And you've been totally amazing, and we definitely wish you all the best, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.